Namaskar students. Hope you are hale and hearty, taking care of your health and your studies. My name is Jyotsna and I am from Education Department, Chandigarh. There is one thing which people from all age groups love to do: shopping. Kids, elders, or the elderly. All of them love to go to the market, spend money, and bring lots and lots of new stuff for themselves. That's what we are going to do today. In this session, we are going to take up the topic of markets around us. This topic belongs to chapter 8 of the book Social and Political Life Part 3 of grade 7. So, without wasting any time, let's get going. Market is defined as the sum total of all the buyers and sellers in the area or region under consideration. The area may be the earth or countries, regions, states, or cities. The value, cost, and price of items traded as per forces of supply and demand in a market. The market may be a physical entity or may be virtual. It may be local or global, perfect and imperfect. Let's take up characteristics of a market. The characteristics of market for a good or for a factor input that are known from the above are following. 1. Presence of buyers and sellers. There are two sides in the market for a good: the buyer side and the seller side. Transactions are conducted between buyers and sellers in the market. The sellers sell the commodity at a particular price and buyers buy it. This is called the price rule. The ownership of the good is transferred in the market through purchase and sale according to the price rule. The ownership is transferred from the sellers to the buyers. The next major point is that the communication between buyers and sellers. Development of a communication system between the buyers and sellers is a precondition for the market relation to grow between them. The buyers and sellers may meet face to face at a particular place, or there may be communication between them through the modern telecommunication system. Next point is establishment of the market relation between the different basic units of the economic system. Centering around the purchasing and selling activities in the markets for consumer goods and factor inputs, market relation grows between the two basic units of the economic system. These units are households and firms. The market relation that grows between them is an economic relation, and more generally, it is a social relation. The essence of this relation is that the buyers and sellers are engaged in the transaction in the market with a view to fulfill their economic goals, and they would have to obey the social rules of the market. Last but not the least, one of the main characteristics of a market is that price determination through interaction between demand and supply and the price rule. In the market for a good or a factor, the buyers and sellers remain aware of the prevailing conditions in the market, as they all behave as economic beings. That is, they are aware of what items are being sold and purchased in the market and at what prices. Who are the buyers and sellers in the market? So that the buyers may buy at the minimum possible price and the sellers can sell at the maximum possible price. Let's take up various kinds of markets which we see around us. First and foremost is a weekly market. So what is this weekly market? A weekly market is held on a specific day of the week. Permanent shops are not there in the weekly markets. Traders set up a shop for the day and in the evening they close it. They set up the shops in another location the next day. In India, there are thousands of such shops. These cater to the everyday requirements of the people. These have the following salient features. First and foremost, they offer cheaper rates. Many items are available in the weekly markets at cheaper rates. This is because since these shops are not permanent, they save on expenses such as rent, electricity, and fees to the government. Next, they are run by families. The shop owners store the items they sell at home. Mostly they are helped by the family members and do not employ outside people, and hence also save the money spent on wages to the workers. Last but the major point is that these kind of markets have a very high competition. Since these markets have a large number of shops selling the same item, there is high competition among them. Hence, if a seller charges a higher amount for an item, buyers will buy from another seller who either charges a lower rate or allows the buyer to bargain to some extent. Now let's take up some advantages of weekly market. One-stop shop. All the items are available under one roof. Buyers do not have to go to different places for different goods. This saves their time and money. Whether they want groceries, vegetables, clothes or footwears, all are available at one place. More choices for the buyers. Since there are many sellers selling the same product, the buyers have a choice regarding what to buy, from whom to buy. Then there is convenience. Since a high variety of goods is available, it is very convenient for the buyer. Now, the next type of market is the shops in the neighborhood. There are many shops that sell goods and services in our neighborhoods. We buy milk from the dairy, groceries from departmental store, etc. Shops are permanent and are near our homes. Here, buyers and sellers know each other, and these shops also provide goods on credit. There are also sellers who sell their goods on the roadside. So what are the advantages of the shops in the neighborhood? First and foremost, they are in our close proximity. As the name suggests, these shops are in our neighborhood and hence close to our homes. Next, open all days. Unlike the weekly market, these shops operate on all days. Hence, we can go for our purchases on any day of the week at our convenience. Next is flexibility. Since the buyer and seller know each other, these shops give goods on credit. Hence, payment can be made later also. In other words, there is flexibility regarding payments as well. Personal touch. Since the buyer and seller know each other, the transaction has a personal touch to it. It is not a purely commercial transaction. From here, let's move on to something very organized. Malls. There are other markets in urban area that have many shops, popularly called shopping complexes. These are multi-storied air-conditioned buildings with shops on different floors, and they are known as malls. Here we get both branded and non-branded goods. Big companies sell their products through these shops in large urban markets, and at times through special showrooms, fewer people can afford to buy products from malls and shopping complexes. So let's have a quick recap of what we have done till now. On your screens you can see statements and there are blanks to it. So let's try to fill them. Weekly markets have temporary shops. A wholesale trader sells the good to a retailer. In mall, we get both branded and unbranded goods. We can purchase goods through internet without going to the markets. Alright, so let's move on from here. On your screens, you can find a question and there are 4 options to it. You have to simply pick the correct option. So let's get going. What are different types of markets? Weekly, neighborhood, mall, or all of these? Yes, the different types of markets are all of these. The option D. Why is weekly market called so? Because it is held on a specific day of the week, because it is held on alternate days, because it is held daily, all of the above. The correct option is option A, because it is held on a specific day of the week. Right? Shopkeepers in a weekly market are small traders, large traders, wholesalers, or all of these. Yes, shopkeepers in a weekly market are small traders. Very good. From where can we buy the medicines? Weekly market, dairy, chemist shop or groceries? Yes, we can buy the medicines from the chemist shop. So now let's take up the chain of markets. So what is this chain of markets? Goods are produced in factories. Goods are also produced in farms and in homes. But we are required to go to factories or farms to buy goods of our need because of the producer who are not interested in selling us small quantities. The wholesale traders do this job. They are the people who come in between the producer and the consumer. They first buy goods in bulk. They sell these goods to the retailers who finally sell this to the consumers. From the above instance, we come to the conclusion that from factories to final consumer, a chain is formed, which we may call a chain of markets. We can better understand it through the flow chart given below. Out here you can see that factories or farms produce something, they then give it to the wholesale traders who further give it to the retailers, and from there the consumers buy it. It serves great purpose. It maintains flow of money. It makes easy availability of various items of our daily use. It also promotes coordination in society. From here, let's see that how we have markets everywhere. The goods get delivered to your home. Buying and selling take place in different ways, not necessarily through shops in the market. These days, it is not necessary for the consumer to go to the market like weekly markets or neighborhood shops, which have a specific location and time of functioning. They can either order goods on phone or use the internet and buy things online. The medical representatives in clinics are also actually selling their goods. Hence, we can say that markets are found everywhere and they have different styles of functioning. From here, let's see, are these markets equal? So let's take up markets and equality. We have seen that small traders with little money struggle to run their shop, whereas some are able to spend a lot of money to set up the shop. They also earn unequal amounts. Similarly, buyers are also different from each other. There are many who are not able to afford the cheapest of goods, while others are busy shopping in malls. Big and powerful business persons earn huge profits while small traders earn very little. For example, the shop owners in a weekly market and those in a shopping complex are two different people. One is a small trader who has little money to run the shop, whereas the other has a lot of money to spend on the shop. The earning of these people is also unequal. The weekly market traders earn little profits, whereas the shopping complex owners gain huge income. Not only the shop owners are different people, but also the buyers also. As we discussed earlier, in the market we see different types of buyers. There are several buyers who were not able to afford even the cheapest of goods, as we discussed earlier also. Others are busy buying the luxurious items in the malls. That is the difference of not only the society but the markets as well. Let's quickly have a glance of all the focal points we have covered today. First and foremost, we started off with what do we mean by the market. Then we took up the features of the market. From there, we talked about types of market like weekly market, shops in the neighborhood, shopping complexes and malls, chain of markets, markets around us, markets everywhere, markets and equality. So let's try to analyze what we have extracted out of today's session. On your screens, you have a question. Along with that, you have 4 options. You have to pick the correct option. So let's get going. What is an enclosed shopping space in shops, restaurants, and cinema theaters? Mall, local market, weekly market, or none of these? Yes, it is very easy. A mall is called an enclosed shopping space with shops, restaurants, and cinema theaters. Okay, what does refer to buying and selling in large quantities? Weekly market, mall, wholesale, or cineplex? Yes, wholesale is the word which deals with buying and selling in large quantities. Okay, where is the largest wholesale vegetable market in Delhi? Azad Market, Azadpur, Azad Nagar, or none of these? Yes, the wholesale vegetable market in Delhi is in Azadpur. What is a series of market that is connected like link in chains because products pass from one market to another? Chain of market, wholesale market, weekly market, or shopping mall? Yes, it is chain of market. We can purchase goods through which of the following means other than markets? Internet, phone, none of these, or both of these? Yes, it is option D. We can purchase goods through internet as well as phone. Alright, now there are some statements. You have to see if these statements are true or false. So, let's see. We have temporary and permanent shops in our neighborhood. True. Shopping complexes are made in rural areas. False. Shopping complexes are product of urban area. Shops in the neighborhood provide goods even on credit. True. It is necessary to go to market to purchase goods. False. No, we can order on phone as well as on internet. Very good. Now on your screens you can find two sets of words in column A and column B. You have to match the words given in column A with the correct in the column B. Alright, the first and foremost is retailer. A retailer is the one who is selling directly to the consumer. Wholesaler. Wholesaler is the one who is buying and selling in large quantities. Trader. People between producer and consumer. Godown. Goods are stored here. Variety is the spice of life. This is so true after today's session. Many people earn their livelihood by being a part of this market. Be it somebody who repairs a cycle or somebody who manufactures one. They all earn. They all serve us. We all live in this vicious circle of demand and supply. We'll keep on studying about it in the years to come. We'll be back with many more new videos. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep studying. Namaskar.